What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Operation Grim Sky full reveal. My name is Justin Kruger, community developer on Rainbow Six Siege, and today we are about to go over all the details of our two new operators, Maverick and Clash. And we have a new rework in the works coming to you very soon, the rework of Hereford. And to help me break down all of these details, please welcome our two panelists, Jeremy Dowsett, level designer, and Emilian Lomé, game designer. How you guys doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. These events have been amazing. The games have been amazing. Emilian, how's your event been so far?
That week has been incredible. It's insane to see the crowd, to see the team at the level they have. It's fantastic. Such a good time.
The crowd has been incredible. This entire event, they've been going crazy, and I know they cannot wait to get into some of this content that we got coming up. And so let's get right into it. Without further ado, let's take a look at Hereford base, our reworked Hereford base. Jeremy, let's, for those people that don't know what a rework is, what exactly is a rework?
A rework is an opportunity for the team to go through and look at legacy maps that we've built. And in this case, Hereford was the first map that we actually built and prototyped the game on. And look at the problems and rework it from the start. You know, in this case, it's a brand new map. If you look at the old Hereford now that's up on the screen and look at the new Hereford, we've completely redone it from the ground up.
Completely redone it, so it's way different than what we've introduced last season with the map buff. This is a new map, bottom line. I mean, it's a little familiar, but it's really new.
Players that know Siege and know the game will recognize it. They'll recognize the thematics, the Spitfires, the control tower, and the shooting range, but the inside is, you know, it's a slightly bigger floor plan than it was before, with more rotation options and more verticality. So we've gone through and made a brand new map for the community.
Right, and so you mentioned some of the issues with the old Hereford base. What were some of those issues, and why did you need to fix them for this map? Obviously, it's a little bit old now. It was the first map ever made, but now you're going in and changing the guts of it.
Basically, the problem with the old Hereford was the destruction needed to be updated, and also that there was only one really viable bomb site, which was down in the basement. So, you know, when you're playing a game and it's always the same bomb site, and the other bomb sites don't get used, it's no fun to play. So what we've done now is 4 bomb sites, more stairs, more verticality, more destruction, and just made it so it's actually a much more viable and much more fun map to play.
As a level designer, do you feel as though that's one of the biggest challenges and most important aspects of your job, to see that variety in bomb site selection in order to have a balanced map?
You have to make sure that bomb sites are completely viable. You don't want one that's slightly overpowered, because then once it goes ranked or pro, they'll always pick that bomb site, you know, but now they have to play all the bomb sites. But the real thing is, you want viable bomb sites, you want variety in the map, and you do really want it to be balanced and to play well as much as humanly possible.
Yeah, and a really key thing that we were talking about last time you were up here in May at the Atlantic City Finals was rotations. And for Villa, rotations were integrated into that from the beginning, but the old Hereford had some issues with rotations. And what have you guys done to resolve some of that? You mentioned the stairs as well, but tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the problem when you look at it from a single staircase map is there's no viability of rotation. So we've added a second set of stairs that go all the way up, all the way down, which allows for greater rotation. Then you add the traps, and then you add the balconies on the outside. It allows the attackers and the defenders to rotate really quickly, depending on how they want to play the bomb sites.
Yeah, and I want to point out really quickly, we're going to get into all of those bomb sites in just a moment, but I wanted to point out the design, the art design. You and your team and the art team back in Montreal have done an incredible job at revamping this map.
The art team, again, have done an absolutely superb job. You know, it feels like Hereford. It doesn't feel like it's a completely alien space. It feels like Hereford. It looks like Hereford. It's got the same thematics, the same feel. Like, Max and the art team in Montreal did an absolutely superb job. Of course, it's England, so they made it rain, which kind of irks,
you feel insulted.
It irks me a little bit that it's raining. It doesn't rain in England all the time, but you know, it's grim sky. It's raining. You know, it fits really well with the operation.
Fits it. You feel the ambiance. You feel the environment. And I think you know, I got tweeted at when we first revealed this this map. One of the tweets that I received was, you know, it feels as though as that would as though I imagined exactly how it would be in the books. So, you know, it's going back to a little bit of that thematics that we really wanted to introduce with Hereford. The old art style was a little bit gray all over the place. Hard to do a lot of call-outs on that as well. It impacted gameplay, and I think players will be pleasantly surprised when they enter into Hereford for the first time.
It's definitely not a problem anymore. The thematics are very strong, and it's great to hear that people feel that when they see this map now, they feel like it's come from the books. You know, that's what we strive to achieve at all times, is to go through and make it feel like a real living, breathing place, you know. And like I said, the art team did an amazing job on this, and I'm super proud to have worked on the map with the other designers.
Yeah, all right, so let's go into the spawns and into this building and break it down bomb site by bomb site, because I really want to get into the guts of this. But let's start with the spawn points. What has changed with the spawn points?
Nothing much has really changed with the spawn points. You've still got control tower, the shooting range, and the Spitfire courtyard. So that will feel very familiar to anyone that's played Hereford, and hopefully the entire community has. So nothing's really changed. The approaches have changed. Because obviously the outside's completely changed, the inside's changed. The approaches have changed a little bit, but they're pretty well sheltered, and they're very good approach lines for
so
the
in terms of those approaches, you know, a lot of those elements, a lot of those objects that were there before have completely been redesigned.
Yes, everything's been redesigned.
Yeah, cool. All right, so let's get into the guts of this building. Jeremy, I know you're excited to break it down. We're going to be going floor by floor, starting with the 3rd floor down all the way to the basement. So let's start with that 3rd floor bomb sites, and we have ammo and tractor on the 3rd floor. How you got a tractor on the 3rd floor is beyond me, but, you know, break down the strategy for this.
Ammo and tractor is actually one of the bomb sites that we actually had the most trouble with. It wasn't very viable, and we had to rework it a few times. It's a very open space with not too much cover, so it does make it quite tricky to actually go through and defend. There's no direct access really to a bomb site, so as per usual, you have to commit to the bomb site to actually go through and be able to attack it, or, you know, attack it fully. It's really interesting because you're looking for the attackers to come from the balcony or from the 2 stairs that come up.
Yeah, and we're going to be taking a look at that that entranceway in just a moment, but you know, that strategy of defending from the balcony, from the outside, from the top. How is that for you as a designer to really design that defense point?
It's actually really fun to design something like that, and there's a few little tips and tricks you can actually use as an attacker. Remember, there is a drone vent up on the roof, so if you need to drone that bomb site, or if you need to drone any bomb site, you can go top down or bottom up. But what makes this so fun is there's so many avenues for the attackers to come at you from the stairs or from the balcony, so you can feint out the defenders quite easily.
Yeah, from the stairs or even the roof. I feel like there's going to be a lot of external rotations on this map
I think
for this bomb site.
I think you're going to find a lot of people, if they need to rotate, they'll go up on the roof and come down and rappel on the other side for sure.
And now that balcony is really important as well. Talk to us a little bit about that balcony. Why is that there?
The balcony's there to allow another option for the attackers to actually come in, but to also have another avenue for defense, because if you've only got 2 sets of stairs and a couple of windows, it's not really enough for, you know, fun gameplay. But you throw that balcony into the mix, it really does mix it up, and it's a very, very tense bomb site to defend.
One of the words that you described this bomb site was absolute chaos.
It's so much fun. Even when we're playtesting it internally, like, you can hear the team screaming, like just because sometimes you just get hit and you just don't expect to know where it's coming from, and it just comes from every side, and there's not much cover, and you're just running for hell. It's so much fun to play. I think the community is going to love this one.
And I mean, that's where we always start with on our maps. Our operators is fun, right?
Yeah.
So that's what you're trying to achieve here. All right, let's move on to the 2nd floor. We have kids' room and master bedroom on the 2nd floor. Let's take a look at these bomb sites here. Tell us a little bit about the strategy behind defending and attacking the 2nd floor.
Kids' room, master bedroom is a really good area to go through and play. It's a very viable bomb site. It's an awful lot of fun. You see in the kids' bedroom, there's the bunk beds and there's the bomb right on the side, and it's really fun to try and defend the bomb. Like, if you got someone staying back and trying to hold the area, and there's a lot of options to actually extend your defense on this floor for sure.
Yeah, and you mentioned that verticality.
Yes.
And that verticality comes in play on the second floor really, really importantly because you have those hatches, you have those line of sight floors on both sides.
Yeah.
On the floors and the ceilings. So how are players going to be defending against that verticality on this floor?
It's a tricky one. I haven't quite figured it out myself yet, but you'll generally find people there are areas that aren't actually destructible floor, and you'll find a lot of people will be rotating through those areas, knowing that they've actually got a little safe passage for a period of time. But you can get shot, like you said, from above or from below, so you're never really safe.
Yeah, I think that's one of the key things on this new rework is that verticality, and we'll see it throughout the map entirely on that third floor, on that second floor. And now let's move on to the first floor, where we have kitchen dining room. Tell us about the strategies that you'll see on kitchen dining room, and what has changed on the first floor, Jeremy?
Okay, what's changed on the first floor is there was that massive choke.
That massive hallway where you have the choke point at the entrance and the choke point at the stairs, and chaos in the middle. So is that still there?
No, that's not there anymore.
Okay.
We've the entire floor plan for the entire map has changed, but obviously you don't want choke points when you're designing a map, so we've taken as many of the choke points as you can actually out of the map. So the corridor's not straight. You've still got quite good line of sight. Playing with a mirror wall is actually really quite fun. Well, actually, on all the bomb sites, it's really fun. But I find that playing a mirror on this site is really nice, and because you can destroy the walls between the two bomb sites, it allows for really fast rotations. But it is the ground floor, so you've also got the problem of you're defending the windows because the attackers can get to you really quickly, or they can just come through the basement up the stairs.
Yeah.
So it's one of those bomb sites that it's really fun to play, but you need to get your strats down really well to figure out what you're going to do, and communication is key.
Speaking of coming in through the basement, let's take a look at our basement map, or basement bomb sites, where we have brewery and fermentation room. Now, as a UK man yourself, I am very pleased to see that there's a brewery in the basement of Hereford.
Well, it's
only fitting.
It's the SAS. I'm sure the SAS drink a fair amount of beer. It's a great thematic. When it's cold and rainy outside, you want to drink some beer, right?
Exactly.
Basement's really fun. There's a couple of big objects for the fermentation tanks that are bulletproof. So you've got a long line where you can actually shoot through and go back and forth, which is really nice.
And one of the key things is we're taking a look at the tunnel right now, which is a new addition. Why did you add this tunnel? What is so key about this?
If you put a basement in the ground and you've only got two sets of stairs, it's not fun because you know exactly where the attackers are going to come from. They're going to come from the stairs. So you can't do that because it won't be fun, and then we'll have the same problem again with the original Hereford, which is they're only going to play the one viable bomb site because it's easy to defend.
Right.
You add the tunnel on the outside, and then you add the garage, which is off on the side as well. It allows the attackers to actually have more ways to actually enter the building, and it makes for a much more interesting defense as well. Much more
interesting defense and a much more interesting map because you have that access point and people can enter it, the attackers can enter it through the basement to attack the first floor, and they can use it as, of course, on that basement approach as well, but that becomes so crucial.
Of course, it's one of those things where, when you watch the pros plays and you watch ranked level players play, you watch them droning a lot of the time, and this map allows for droning from the basement, so you can go through and check for the roamers, and it allows from roaming from the top as well, so you can actually come down with your drone from the roof, and you're in relative safety on the roof, and you're relative safety outside when you're down by the basement as well. So it allows anyone that's playing a roaming game and a droning out game to actually allows them a lot of options for sure.
A lot of options, a lot of creativity, a lot of strategy that I'm sure we'll see once this hits the test server. But before we close out Hereford, what are some of the key takeaways that you want the community to know about?
The most important thing when you approach this map is remember it's a brand new map, but the two stairwells are definitely key. The drone vent on the roof and definitely the balcony on the side, because they're the three elements that are really going to allow players to actually get in and explore the map quickly and get to their objective fast.
Why did you feel it's so necessary to add that second stairwell?
It's mainly for navigation and flow. You know, when we design maps in Montreal, we look at navigation, flow, verticality, and viability of bomb sites. One set of stairs isn't enough for navigation and flow, and it doesn't allow for very good rotations. So obviously you need to add a second set of stairs. Now, when you've got two sets of stairs, you're essentially creating two choke points where you can get stopped quite quickly. So if you add the balcony as another option, you know, it allows people to run around and roam much easier. So it allows the verticality in the roaming game to be much stronger.
Yeah, and of course, as we also wrap up with the balcony becomes that amazing external approach for the attackers and a nightmare, potential nightmare for the defenders as well.
I wouldn't say nightmare. I'd say it's just it's kind of fun because when you get it right, it feels so good.
So good.
But when you're slightly off your game and you're not hitting your shots, yeah, it can lead to a world of pain very quickly.
Yeah,
that's for
because
sure.
the attackers can utilize that approach and get cut off or get a frag in the early game as they're picking off the defender in that area, guarding that area. They can really utilize that and take that to their advantage.
It's really interesting, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the way the strats come out and the way people play the game. I've been watching people in the free play area playing the map, and it's really interesting to see what they're doing on the map because it's beautiful.
I've heard incredible feedback from everybody that I've talked to here at Paris about the map, about the operators, and we'll get to the operators in just a moment. But that is your first look at Hereford Base. I'm so excited for players to discover that balcony, discover those stairs, discover the verticality, and fewer spawn peaks as well.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm sure Amelia is very sad to hear.
Oh, there's definitely less spawn peaks for sure. Like, you know, we shut those down pretty early in production because, yeah, no one likes spawn peaks and no one likes to get killed at the spawn point. Oh,
Amelia loves spawn peaks. Let's be honest. You spawn peaks everyone. Well, that is your first look at Hereford Base coming your way to the Clash, and to introduce them, let's take a look at this quick video from Ubisoft News.
In Operation Grim Sky, things are heating up and getting electric as two new operators, one attacker and one defender, join Team Rainbow, where they'll put their training to the test on a completely reworked Hereford base. The gentleman quietly burning a hole through this reinforced wall is Maverick. A 1-armor, 3-speed operator, Maverick comes equipped with the Surrey Torch. Unlike Thermite and Hibana, who are able to make large holes in reinforced walls, Maverick is able to burn his way through barriers and create holes of various sizes. It'll take up nearly all of your torch's fuel to create a hole you can actually move through, but what Maverick excels at is cutting out small, sneaky windows, creating sightlines nearly anywhere. The Surrey Torch is able to melt just about anything, like breakable walls, reinforced walls, castle barricades, deployable shields, floor hatches, Maestro's evil eye, and even defending operators. This is one of the most dynamic gadgets around, capable of melting holes of many shapes and sizes in the defending team's reinforcements. Any attacker can take advantage of Maverick's handiwork, but with the new AR-1550 or the M4 assault rifle in hand, he does just fine on his own. Maverick's torch is handy for eliminating enemy gadgets as well. Play peekaboo with bandit batteries and mute jammers to clear the way for Thermite or Hibana, or just open a little door for Twitch's drone to roll through and take care of business. For bigger holes, you'll need a steady hand. Move across a wall too quickly and the torch won't have enough time to cut through. Too slowly and you'll waste your limited fuel supply. Aiming down sights will help you maintain a consistent speed while ensuring those crisp, clean cutouts. And while it's not completely silent, Maverick's torch is pretty quiet, opening up possibilities for stealth, subterfuge, and so many deadly new sightlines. Defenders will have to be extra vigilant against small breaches, but Maverick needs to stay sharp as well. The Surrey Torch isn't much of a weapon, and its 2-meter range leaves Maverick vulnerable while he's crafting his latest work of art. A quick call out from a defender could leave you vulnerable to a flanking attack, so be sure to deploy that claymore wisely. You could use it deviously, planting it by a small breach hole as a trap for careless enemies. With all these new holes appearing in your defenses, it's nice to have a defender who offers some extra protection. That defender is Clash, the first shield-bearing defender in Siege. Her indestructible CCE shield covers the entire front of her body and comes with a built-in taser that slows and damages enemies within range, making her a formidable obstacle. Her taser operates on a charge and will refill whenever it's not active. Mind your battery level though. If you drain the shield's charge completely, you'll have to wait until it fully recharges to use it again. To whip out her sidearm weapons, Clash has to put her shield on her back, where it will still offer some protection, just like other shields do. She can certainly get a kill in a pinch, but her main focus is crowd control. As a former riot officer with the British MPS, Clash is no stranger to close quarters action. Slowing down the attack makes the clock work in your favor, while drawing your enemy's attention has the added benefit of making them more susceptible to flanking attacks from your teammates. And let's not forget one of the most powerful things a shield can do: block enemy fire. Has that pesky Maverick cut a hole into a reinforced wall and exposed your entire team? Plug it up with Clash. Sometimes physically blocking an enemy's progress is your best play, but don't be afraid to use your protection to your advantage. With 3 armor and 1 speed, Clash might seem like the furthest thing from a roamer, but her shield allows her to be in spaces where defenders normally fear to tread. Stroll outside for some early game scouting, and use your map knowledge to roam in areas where attackers can't easily get behind you. Your P10C or SPSMG sidearms mean enemies can't safely turn their back on you. But even with your shield up, you're not invincible. Thatcher can temporarily disable the taser with his EMP grenades. And Capitão's asphyxiating bolts can do serious damage to the slow-moving Clash, even with her shield equipped. Furthermore, Clash cannot melee with her shield. In fact, if an enemy manages to melee her, or if she gets hit with a concussion grenade from Zofia, she'll drop her guard momentarily and be partially exposed. But Clash is not one to be vulnerable for long, and getting through her stalwart defense will prove to be a tall order. Operation Grim Sky is set to seriously shake things up on both sides of the conflict. For more on Rainbow Six Siege, subscribe to our YouTube channel and be sure to check out news.ubisoft.com.